Jugam junyan madasraya asamsayam samagrang ma jatha gyasasi tat shrimo. Sri Bhagavan uvacha. Bhagavan means the Supreme Being. That is also dictionary word. And I consulted the Oxford Dictionary. God. God means the Supreme Being. And the Supreme means, that is also stated in the dictionary, the greatest authority. So, God means the greatest authority, supreme being. We have got little idea of supreme. Suppose when we go to work in our office, the proprietor of the establishment or the managing director of the establishment, he is called the Supreme. We have got experience of the Supreme Court. In India we have got Supreme Court. If there is any judgment which is not accepted by the litigant, he can go to the Supreme Court, and in the judgment given in the Supreme Court is final. No more any appeal, that is final. Supreme means that, final. So Bhagavan uvacha, Bhagavan means the Supreme Being. We are all beings, we are also living entities. Similarly, Bhagavan or God, he is also a living entity. As a living entity, we are the same. But he is the supreme living entity. No more greater than him. Here we can distinguish. I am here. You may be greater than me. Another person may be greater than you. Another person may be greater than him. In this way, you go on searching, greater, 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 greater. And when you come to a person, nobody is greater than him, that is God. Nowadays it has become a fashion. So many gods, especially they come to your country, Western country. But God can be plural number. God is always singular. One. If God is plural number, then that he is not God. That plural number God may be the living entities. We are living entities. And God is also living entity, but the supreme living entity. That is the difference. It is Vedic statement. Nitya nityana cetana cetanana eka jo bhavanam vidadhati kaman. Description of God. He is Nitya. Nitya means eternal. And we living entities, we are also eternal. Na hannate hannamane sarire. We, at the present moment, in the material condition, we are changing body. That change of body is called death. Actually, the living entity within the body, he has no death, no birth. na jayate na mriyate va kadachi. This description we have got in the Vedic literature. So, God is also nitya, eternal. We are also eternal. God is also cognizant and we are also cognizant. We have got knowledge and God has got knowledge. The difference is that I have got knowledge limited within this limit of this body. I have no knowledge what is going on in your body. Neither you know what is going on in my body. Therefore, we are individual. But God is also individual. He is spread everywhere. That is God. Annantarastham paramanuchayantarastham. God is within this universe, within yourself, within myself, within the atom. Annantarastham paramanu means atom. He is within the atom also. But I, you, we are limited within this body. We are limited. I cannot say that I understand what is going on in your body, pains and pleasures. That I cannot say. But I can understand pains and pleasure of my body. So, the quality is the same. God has knowledge. You, me, we have got knowledge. But our knowledge is limited. God's knowledge is unlimited. But knowledge is there, cognizant. Therefore, the Veda says, Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. He is the supreme eternal amongst all other eternals. He is the supreme cognizant amongst all other cognizance. This is the difference. So Bhagavan means the supreme opulent. Bhoga means opulence, just like riches, reputation, strength, beauty, knowledge, renunciation. These are called opulences. So, every one of us has got little opulences. I have got also little money, you have got also little money. But I cannot claim, neither you can claim that you are the proprietor of all the riches of the world or the universe. That you cannot claim. Nobody can claim. But God can claim. That is the difference. God can claim, as He claims, we understand from the Bhagavad gītā, Bhoktaram Jagatavasam Sarvaloku Maheswaram Suridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatamang Shantimicchati. God said that I am the enjoyer of everything. We are acting in this material world to enjoy something. We are working day and night to get some fruit of our labor and enjoy it. Everyone, either he is doing business or is a professional man or he is a worker or anything he is working very hard day and night to enjoy something. So, but we cannot claim that we can enjoy everything in this world, although we have got the desire, but limited power to enjoy. The unlimited enjoyer is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. Just like we want to enjoy life, family life, we marry one wife, or in some countries more than one wife, 2, 3, 4. But when Krishna married, he married 16,000 108 wives. So, and 16,000 wives were given 16,000 palaces. And each wife got 10 children. And Krishna also expanded himself into 16,108 folds. That is God. For us it is very difficult to maintain even one wife at the present moment. This is the difference. Just try to understand what is the meaning of this word Bhagavan. Bhava means opulence. This is one of the opulences, richness. When Krishna was present on this planet, he was so rich that he could maintain 16,000 queens in 16,000 very costly palaces made of marble, the furnitures made of ivory, and the beds were made of silk, and each and every room was decorated, bedecked with jewels, glittering jewels, so that at night there was no need of electricity or lamp. These descriptions are there in the Srimad Bhagavatam of Krishna's palace, Krishna's 16,000 wives, Krishna's expansion into 16,000 forms. This is Bhagavan. Bhagavan means unlimitedly potential. That is Bhagavan. So here in this chapter, we are trying to understand what is Bhagavan. This Krishna consciousness movement means to try to understand what is Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of God. This is our endeavor. It is very difficult to understand Bhagavan, but there is a process. If you adopt that process, you can understand God or Bhagavan. That process is being described by the Supreme Lord himself, Bhagavan. Bhagavan was. What is that process? Maya saktamana partha jugam junjana madasraya asangsang samagrang mang jatha gyasasi tatchino. My dear Arjuna, now I shall explain to you. We hear with attention. Tatchino. What is that? Maya saktamana partha. You have to increase your attachment for me. Maya sakta. Maya asakta. Maya means unto me. And asakti means attachment. Maya sakta mana. Mind has to be trained up in such a way that you increase your attachment for God or Krishna. When you speak Krishna, you understand God. Krishna is one of the names of God. There are many millions of names, of which Krishna is the chief, because this word Krishna means all attractive, because he is fully opulent. Just like if in this material world, if one man is very rich, he is attractive. He draws attention of the people in general. If he is very powerful, he draws attention. If he is very reputed, famous, he draws attention. If he is very wise, learned, he draws attention. But Krishna has got all these things in fullness, therefore he draws attention of everyone. Therefore his name is Krishna. This Krishna name means all attractive. He has got all the attractive features. Therefore he is called Krishna. So Krishna says, just try to increase your attachment for me. Practice this. It is not difficult. Just like we have got attachment for something here in this material world. Somebody is attached to do business, somebody is attached to woman, somebody is attached to man, somebody is attached to riches, somebody is attached to art, somebody is attached to so many things. There are many subject matter of attachment. So, attachment we have got, that we cannot deny, everyone. We have got some attachment for something. That attachment should be transferred for Krishna. That is called Krishna consciousness. We are attached to something with consciousness, not blindly. So we have got the consciousness. When we turn our attachment or train ourselves to increase our attachment for Krishna, that is called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga. You have heard the name of Yoga. Yoga means connecting link. So, if you practice this Bhakti Yoga, then gradually you increase your attachment for Krishna. That is it. It is stated also in the Bhagavad Gītā. Bhaktya mam abhijanati jaman jasyami tattato. If you practice Bhakti Yoga, that is called Bhaktya. Then you can understand me. Not otherwise. There are different types of yoga system. Bhakti yoga, Jnana yoga, Karma yoga, Hatha yoga, Dhyana yoga, so many yogas. But the Bhakti yoga is the supermost. That is stated in the last chapter. I am reading before you the 7th chapter. At the end of the 6th chapter, Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesam madgata antaratmana sadhyavan bhajati yomam sami yuktatamu mataha. Yoginam api sarvesam. One who practices yoga system, he is called yogi. So Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesam. Of all the yogis, I have already stated, there are different kinds of yogis. Of all the yoginam api sarvesam. Sarvesam means of all yogis. Madgata antaratmana, one who is thinking of me within himself. We can think of Krishna. We have Krishna's form. Krishna, deity we worship. So if we engage ourselves in the worship of the deity, the form of Krishna, which is non-different from Krishna, or in the absence of deity, if we chant the holy name of Krishna, that is also Krishna. Abhinnata namanan. Krishna is absolute. Therefore, there is no difference between him and his name. There is no difference between him and his form. There is no difference between him and his picture. There is no difference between him and his topics. Anything about Krishna is Krishna. This is called absolute knowledge. So either you chant the Krishna's name, or you worship Krishna's form, everything is Krishna. So there are different forms of devotional service. Savanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Shakham, Atma Nivedanam. You just hear about Krishna. That hearing is also Krishna. Just like just now we are trying to hear about Krishna. So that hearing is also Krishna. These boys and girls are chanting. That chanting is also Krishna. Savanam Kirtanam. Then Smaranam. When you chant of Krishna, if you remember the picture of Krishna, that is also Krishna. Or you see the picture of Krishna, that is also Krishna. You see the deity of Krishna, that is Krishna. You learn something about Krishna, that is also Krishna. So anyway, Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Bandhanam Dasam Sakham Atma Nivedanam. Any of the 9 items, if you accept, you immediately contact Krishna. Either you accept all the 9 items, or 8, or 7, or 6, or 5, or 4, or 3, or 2, at least one. If you rigidly take and suppose this chanting, it does not cost anything. We are chanting all over the world. Anyone can chant by hearing us. It does not cost you. And if you chant, there is no loss on your part. So, but if you do, then immediately you contact Krishna. That is very good. Immediately, because Krishna's name and Krishna is not abhinnatyad namanani. These are the description of the Vedic literature. Abhinnatyad namana. Nama chintamani Krishna. Krishna's name is Chintamani. Chintamani means spiritual. Chintamani, prakara sadmasu, kalpa vrikha lakha priteshu. These are the Vedic description. Where Krishna lives, the place is described. Chintamani, prakara sadmasu, kalpa vrikha lakha priteshu, surabhi rabhipalayantam. So now the holy name of Krishna is also Chintamani, spiritual. Nama Chintamani Krishna. He is the same Krishna person. Nama Chintamani Krishna. Chaitanya. Chaitanya means not dead, but living entity. You can get the same benefit by chanting name as you get a personally is talking with Krishna. That is also possible. But this will be gradually realized. Nama Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Rasa Vigraha means the pleasure, reservoir of all pleasure. As you chant the name of Hare Krishna, so gradually you release some transcendental pleasure. Just like these boys and girls, while chanting, they are dancing in joyfulness. Nobody could follow them. But they are not crazy fellows that they are chanting. Actually, they are getting some pleasure, transcendental pleasure. Therefore, they are dancing. It is not that the dog dance. No. It is really spiritual dance, the soul's dance. So, therefore he is called Rasa Vigraha, reservoir of all pleasure. Nama Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna, complete. Not that 1% less than Krishna. No, 100% Krishna. Complete. Purna. Purna means complete. Purna Shuddha. Shuddha means purified. There is contamination in the material world. Material, any name you chant, because it is materially contaminated, you cannot continue it for very long. This is another experience. But this chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, if you go on chanting for 24 hours, you will never feel fatigue. That is the test. You go on chanting. These boys can chant 24 hours without eating anything, without drinking water. It is so nice. Because it is complete, spiritual, Shuddha. Shuddha means pure, not materially contaminated. Material pleasure, any pleasure, the highest pleasure in the material world is sex. But you cannot enjoy it 24 hours. That is not possible. You can enjoy it for a few minutes, that's all. Even if you are forced to enjoy, you will reject it. No more. That is material. But spiritual means there is no end. You can enjoy perpetually, 24 hours. That is spiritual enjoyment. Brahma Shokham Anantam. Anantam means unending. So, in order to enjoy the spiritual pleasure, you have to practice some tapasya, austerity. Because you are spiritual, every one of us spiritual. Aham Brahmasmi. We are not this material body. We change. It is for certain years. Again we change another body. This changing of body is going on because we are seeking material pleasure. So God is giving us different types of body for enjoying different types of material pleasures. But if you want to enjoy spiritual pleasure, then you do not require to change body. That is the mission of Krishna consciousness. That every one of you want pleasure, but that pleasure in the material world you cannot enjoy perpetually. But if you purify yourself of this material contamination, if you do not accept this material body again and you remain in your spiritual body, then you enjoy transcendental bliss eternally. So this human form of life is meant for that purpose. Lower than the human form of life, cats and dogs, they cannot understand what is spiritual pleasure. That is not possible. But in the human form of life, you can understand what is spirit and what is matter and what is spiritual pleasure and what is material pleasure. This distinction we can make. That much consciousness is developed in the human form of life. But if we misuse this developed consciousness for material pleasures, then we are missing the opportunity. This is Krishna consciousness movement. Our Krishna consciousness movement is that you have got this human form of body. Don't miss the opportunity that you can, if you properly utilize, if you train yourself, you can be transferred to the platform of eternal spiritual bliss. This is Krishna consciousness. So here Krishna is teaching himself how you can become Krishna conscious. The first item he said, Maya Saktamana Pratha, my dear Arjuna, if you increase your attachment for me, that is the beginning. And that is the end. That is beginning and that is end. It is not that beginning is something. Spiritual means it is nothing beginning, nothing end. The beginning and end the same thing. If you increase your attachment for Krishna, because at the present moment in our material conditional life, we have no attachment for Krishna. We have got attachment for non-Krishna. So you have to transfer that attachment to Krishna. Attachment is there. Simply you have to transfer the object of attachment. So here it is said, Maya Saktamana Partha, Jogam Junyanmadasya. This is yoga. This is meditation. If you are fond of meditation, then you meditate upon Krishna, on the form of Krishna, playing flute, Buddhist scholar having a He peacock feather on his head. The description is there. Barahavatang samasitam budasundarangam Beenum kannantang aravinda dalayataksang Barahavatang samasitam budasundarangam Kandatpa koti kamaniya visesa sobham Govindamadi purusam tamaham bhajan. Beenum kannantang. Krishna is, you will see Krishna's picture, always a flute in his hand, always joyful. Because he is the Supreme Lord, there is nothing moroseness, always joyful. That is the symptom of spiritual life. You see Krishna always smiling, always playing on his flute, as you see in this material world also. Some boy, he has got a flute and he is playing, enjoying. So this is imitation. That enjoyment will not last. But Krishna's flute playing is eternal. Is enjoying, eternal. Beenum kannantam aravinda dalayataksam. And his eyes are just like lotus petal. Very beautiful. Beenum kannantang aravinda dalayataksam barahavatang samasitam buddhas. Barahavatang. A peacock feather. He is very fond of a peacock feather. So that is on his head. Barahavatang mositam buddhas sundarang. Very beautiful body. Like new blackish cloud. But very beautiful. Blackish cloud. Mositam buddha sundaranga. Kandatpa koti kamaniyam. But although he is blackish, he is more beautiful than millions and trillions of Cupid. Therefore, he is all beautiful. Beenam kannantang aravinda dalayataksang barahavatang samasitam buddhasundaram kandatpa koti kamaniya visesasam. Visesasam. Specifically beautiful. Visesasam. Govindam adipurusam tamaham bhajan. So this deity description of Krishna is there in the temple, in the book. So if you always simply think of this beautiful form of Krishna, that is called perfect meditation. If you simply think, that is very easy. We are always attracted by beautiful things. So Krishna is the most beautiful. So if you meditate upon Krishna, then your meditation becomes very easy and perfect. Because Krishna has said that yoginam api sarvesam madgata antaram. Of all the yogis, one who is thinking of me within himself, madgata antaratmana, sadhyavan, with devotion and faith. So, bhajate juma, engaged in devotion, samejut, he is the first class yogi. So you can become a first class yogi at home without any expenditure, without any loss, but you can become the greatest yogi and achieve the result. Krishna consciousness movement is so nice. And we are distributing this system of yoga. We don't charge anything. We are not businessmen that you give you something and charge something. Of course, when we give you book, we take because we have to pay to the printers, to the pressman. That is another thing. So far our words are concerned, our service is concerned, we don't charge anything. That is not our. That is free. So Krishna said, Maya asakta mana prartha. In this way you can begin your attachment for Krishna. Maya asakta mana prartha. Yoga, this is yoga. To increase attachment for Krishna is the first class yoga system. But how it can be done? Maya asakta mana prartha yoga junya mot asraya. You have to take shelter of Krishna or his representative. Asraya. Asraya means to take shelter. You cannot practice this yoga separately. You have to take shelter of Krishna or his devotee. That is called Madasraya. Or Madasraya means one who has taken shelter of me. One may say that how can I take shelter of Krishna? Krishna is not here present. He is present everywhere. It is a question of realization. Then you can take shelter of his representative. Madasraya. Asangsang samagrangma jathagashasitas. Asangsang. Without any doubt. Samagram. Incomplete. Jatha. As. Gyasasi, you can understand. Tatsinu. You hear from me. Krishna is describing himself. How you can increase your attachment for Krishna. This will be very elaborately described. We have no time to read now, but one or two verses I can speak with you. Just like Krishna says, Rasoham Avsukanti Prabhasmi Sasishujaya. Rasoham. Rasoham means the taste, the attractive taste. Just like when you eat sweet meat or any eatables, there is some nice taste for which you eat. Or you drink water. You are thirsty, you want water. But there is a good taste in the water. Otherwise, how you quench your thirst? There is, everyone knows. So Krishna says, Rasoham Avsukanti. Any liquid thing, the taste which attracts you, that is I. Even if you are a drunkard, you are fond of tasting wine, I should recommend that you simply think that this taste of wine is Krishna. That will make you yogi. That will make you the greatest yogi if you simply think this. That I am tasting wine. Very nice taste. This is Krishna. Is there any loss if you think like that? This is Krishna consciousness. Rasoham Avsukanti Prabhasmi Sasishujaya. And the shining of the sun and the moon. Now, every day morning, you see the sun shining. So as soon as you see the sun shining, if you think of Krishna, or this sun shining is Krishna, you become a yogi. You become a yogi. At night also, as soon as you see the moon shining, so immediately if you think this moon shining is Krishna, so you can become Krishna conscious in any circumstances. There is no limitation that you have to become Krishna conscious under this condition, that condition. The condition will be enunciated later on. First of all, try to become Krishna conscious. That at least you drink water, and so many times in a day, you just try to think that the taste of the water is Krishna. That is the beginning of your Krishna yoga system. And then if you chant Hare Krishna, Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then you become gradually the greatest yogi without becoming very learned scholar, without becoming Vedantist, without becoming religionist. Simply by this process, you try to practice and your life will be perfect. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.